If people are doubting how far you can go, go so far that you can't hear them anymore. With this amazing thought, a very good morning to all my dear students. I hope that you all are in good health. This is Shreya Jadhav welcoming you all to my e-learning channel. And today we are going to learn English, grade 9, supplementary reading 5, The Happy Prince, written by Oscar Wilde. So before starting with the reading and explanation of the chapter, let us know something about the author. Oscar Wilde, born on 16th October 1854, died on 30 November 1900, was an Irish playwright, novelist, essayist and poet. He became fluent with French and German early in his life. After university, Wilde moved to London into a fashionable cultural and social circles. After writing in different forms throughout the 1880s, he became one of London's most popular playwrights in the early 1890s. After the turn of 1890s, he refined his ideas about the supremacy of art in a series of dialogues and essays, and incorporated themes of decadence, duplicity, and beauty into his only novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray, written in 1890. He is remembered for his epigram novels, plays, as well as the circumstances of his imprisonment of early death. Introduction for answers. Now, dear students, always remember in mind that whenever you write down your answers, keep in mind to start your answers with introduction. That creates a really good impact. So here it is. Prose name, The Happy Prince. Author's name, Oscar Wilde. Genre, short story. Summary. The first theme of the story is that outward beauty is nothing. It is just a show. The real beauties are love and sacrifices. So now we shall proceed and go through the summary of the chapter. The theme of the story. The first theme of the story is that outward beauty is nothing. It is just a show. The real beauties are love and sacrifices. The second theme is that love and sacrifices are two saving forces. And that the last theme is that there is a great gap between the rich and poor, the rulers and the masses. The Happy Prince was a beautiful statue of a real prince. He was covered with gold. He had sapphires for eyes and ruby in his sword. This statue was set on the tall column of his courtiers. The statue of the Happy Prince sees all the misery of the city. He weeps when he sees people in trouble. He wanted to help them. A swallow stayed at the feet of the statue of the Happy Prince for the night. On the Happy Prince's request, he prolonged his stay and helped the poor with the ruby and the sapphires. When the Happy Prince could not see any more, the swallow decided to see with him forever. Then he helped the people with gold covering the Happy Prince. At the end, he died of frost. The Happy Prince also broke. Early the next morning, the mayor passed by the square below with the town councillors. He noticed that the Happy Prince statue was in a shabby looks. The ruby had fallen out. The sapphires of the eyes were nowhere, and the statue was no longer golden. Then pulled it down and sent it to furnace. The statue did not melt in the furnace, and therefore it was thrown out on the dust heap where the dead swallow was already lying. An angel came and took the leaden heart and the dead swallow to the god as the two most precious things in the world. Beauty, love, having goodness, willing to give people, this requires a great heart. It is not everyone's cup of tea. It requires a lot and lot of courage. So now let us proceed towards the reading of the chapter. This is really amazing and interesting story. The Happy Prince. High above the city, on a tall column, stood a statue of the Happy Prince. He was gilded all over with thin leaves of fine gold. For eyes he had two bright sapphires and a large red ruby glowed on the sword hilt. He was very much admired indeed. He is as beautiful as a weathercock, remarked one of the town's councillor who wished to gain a reputation for having artistic tastes, not only not quite so useful. He added, fearing lest people should think him unpractical, which was not. Why can't you be like the Happy Prince? Asked a sensible mother of her little boy who was crying for the moon. The Happy Prince never dreams of crying for anything. I am glad there is someone in the world who is quite happy, muttered a disappointed man as he gazed at a wonderful statue. He looks like an angel, said the charity children as they came out of the cathedral in their bright scarlet cloaks and their clean white pinafores. How do you know, said the mathematical masters, you have never seen one? Ah, but we have in our dreams, answered the children, and the mathematical master frowned and looked very severe, for he did not approve of the children dreaming. So over here, eventually what happened? In the village or city or in the town, there was a big statue of Happy Prince who was covered with sapphires and rubies and gold, and he used to look always happy. All the people in the town used to admire him a lot. That we as a person are supposed to live a life like a Happy Prince. He never used to complain. He never used to think anything negative. He always loved each and everything. One night there flew over the city a little swallow. His friends had gone away to Egypt 6 weeks before, but he had stayed behind, for he was in love with the most beautiful reed. He had met her early in the spring as he was flying down the river after a big yellow moth. He had been so attracted by her slender waist that he had stopped to talk to her. Shall I love you? Said the swallow, who liked to come to the point at once, and the reed made him a low bow. So he flew around and around her, touching the water with his wings and making silver ripples. This was his courtship, and it lasted all through the summer. It is a ridiculous attachment, twittered the other swallow. She has no money and far too many relatives, and indeed the river was quite full of reeds. Then, when the autumn came, they all flew away. After they had gone, he felt lonely and began to tire of a lady love. She has no conversation, he said, and I am afraid that she was a quatty, for she is always flirting with the wind, and certainly whenever the wind blew, the reed made the most graceful courtesies. I admit that she is domestic, he continued, but I love traveling, and my wife consequently should love traveling also. Will you come away with me? He said finally to her. But the reed shook her head and said no. She was so attached to her home. You have been trifling with me, he cried. I'm off to the pyramids. Goodbye. And he flew away. So over here, the story now actually begins that there was a small swallow who was attracted towards reeds, and at first he loved a lot, but after a certain time duration he thought that his wife was, we can say, typical house wife sort of thing, and she always used to love her home. She never used to love to travel, and it was autumn season, so all the uh, birds were squitters were flying. He asked that, would you like to come? But she refused, that she loved her home and she doesn't want to go anywhere. All day long he flew, and at night time he arrived at the city. Where shall I put up? He said. I hope the town has made preparations. Then he saw a statue on a tall column. I will put up there, he cried. It's a fine position with plenty of fresh air. So he alighted just between the feet of the happy prince. I have a golden bedroom. He said softly to himself as he looked around, and he prepared to go to sleep. But just as he was putting his head under his wing, a large drop of water fell on him. What a curious thing, he cried. There is not a single cloud in the sky. The stars are quite clear and bright. And yet it is raining. The climate in the north of Europe is really dreadful. The reed used to like the rain, but that was merely her selfishness. Then another drop fell. What is the use of a statue if one cannot keep the rain off? He said. I must look for a good chimney pot. And he determined to fly away. But before he had opened his wing, a third drop fell, and he looked up and saw. Ah, what did he see? The eyes of the happy prince were filled with tears, and tears were running down his golden cheeks. His face was so beautiful in the moonlight that the little swallow had filled with pity. Who are you? He said. I am the happy prince. Why are you weeping then? Asked the swallow. You have quite drenched me. When I was alive, I had a human heart, answered the statue. I did not know what tears were, for I lived in the palace of Sanssouci, where sorrow is not allowed to enter. In daytime, I played with my companions in the garden, and in the evening I led the dance in the great hall. Round the garden ran a very lofty wall, but I never cared to ask. So now eventually the swallow is taking a shelter under the feet of the happy prince, and he thought that Europe was having a very dreadful atmosphere. But it started raining. At first he thought like that. But then when he observed after the first drop and the second drop and the third drop, at that time he realized that it was not the rain, but it was the happy prince. And then the swallow asked, that what was the reason and who were you? At that time the prince said that he was the happy prince. At first he used to live, when he was alive, he used to live in the palace. At that time there was no weeping, there was no something bad, everything was good, everything was perfect, and he used to spend his all day in a merry time. He never used to think about any sort of that people's suffering, what they were. Why? Because he had never felt that thing. Moreover to that, in morning In daytime, he used to play with his friend. In evening, he used to have a great dance in a great hall. And around the garden, there was a lofty long wall. And moreover to that, he never ever cared also that what was happening outside the palace. What lay beyond it? Everything about me was so beautiful. My courtiers called me the happy prince, and happy indeed I was. If pleasures be happiness, so I lived and so I died. And now that I am dead, they have set me up here so high that I can see all the ugliness and all the miseries of my city. And though my heart is made up of lead, yet I can't choose but whip. What is he not solid gold? Said the swallow to himself. He was too polite to make any personal remark out loud. Far away, continued the statue in a low musical voice. Far away in a little street, there is a poor house. One of the windows is open, as though it I can see a woman seated on a table. Her face is thin and worn, and she has coarse red hands, all pricked by the needles, for she is a semester. She is embroidering passion flowers on her satin gown for the loveliest of the queen's maids of honor to wear at the next court ball. In a bed in a corner of her room, her little boy is lying ill. He has a fever and is asking for oranges. And mother has nothing to give but the river water, so he is crying. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you not bring her the ruby out of my sword hilt? My feet are fastened to this pedestal, and I cannot move. I am awaited in Egypt, said Swallow. My friends are flying up and down the Nile and taking to the large lotus flowers. So now eventually the happy prince told the actual state, what was happening. He said that there was a lady who was sitting on the table near a window. Her hands were very badly hurt with needles. She was preparing a dress, an embroidery in a dress for the queen's maids, which they were supposed to have the next day for the next ball dance. And at that time duration, her child was lying down near the bed. And the child was suffering. He was ill. He wanted oranges. He wanted something to eat. But the mother didn't had money to even purchase something to eat for his own child. And at that time duration, the happy prince told Swallow that can you please take out one of the rubies from the sword and give it to that lady. At that time Swallow is telling that actually I can help, but his fellow mates were flying to Egypt and they all have flied up and down the Nile on the large lotus flowers. Soon they will be going to sleep in the tomb of the great king. The king is there himself in his painted coffin. He is wrapped in yellow linen and is emblemed with spices. Round his neck is a chain of a pale green jade, and his hands are like withered leaves. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, will you not stay with me for one night and be my messenger? The boy is so thirsty and mother so sad. I don't think I like boys, answered the swallow. Last summer, when I was staying on the river, there were two rude boys, the miller's son, who were always throwing stones at me. They never hit me, of course. We swallows fly too far well for them. And besides, I came of the family famous for its agility. But still, it was a mark of disrespect. So now what happened? The happy prince told that why don't you go and help the little boy with water? At that time, Duration Swallow said that no, I don't want to help. Why? Because he had seen that although they did not hurt us, but still it was a sign of disrespect which they did. They were Miller's boy. But this was a very rude behavior which they have made. So he was not interested in helping boys because he thought that all the boys were same. But the happy prince looked so sad that the little swallow was sorry. It was very cold here, he said, but I will stay with you for one night and be your messenger. Thank you, little swallow, said the prince. So the swallow picked out the great ruby from the prince's sword and flew away with it in his beak over the roofs of the town. He passed by the cathedral's tower where the white marble angels were sculptured. He passed by the palace and heard the sound of the dancing. A beautiful girl came out of balcony with her lover. So now eventually what happened? The happy prince looked really very sad. And he wanted the little swallow to be helping him in this case. It was very cold outside, but he still thought that okay, I'll stay over here for one night, and he was ready to become a messenger for the happy prince. The happy prince said that thank you, little swallow, for helping. And at that time Duration, he took a ruby from the sword and he flew away. When he was passing, he saw that by the cathedral's tower where white marbles angled were sculptured. He passed by the palace and heard the sound of dancing, and a beautiful girl came out of the balcony with her lover. How wonderful the stars are, he said to her, and how wonderful the power of love. I hope my dress will be ready in time for the state ball, she answered. I have ordered passion flowers to be embroidered on it. But the semesters are so lazy. He passed over the river and saw the lanterns hanging to the masts of the ships. He passed over the gathos and saw the old Jews bargaining with each other and weighing out money in the copper scales. At last he came to the poor house and looked in. The boy was tossing feverishly on his bed, and mother had fallen asleep. She was so tired. In he hopped and laid a great ruby on the table beside the women's thimble. Then he flew gently round the bed, fanning the boy's forehead with his wings. How cool I feel, said the boy. I must be getting better. And he sank into the delicious slumber. So now eventually the bird was taking, we can say, advantage of the whole town. He went and he observed and he looked at everything, and he said that how wonderful stars and everything looked, how wonderful the power of love is. And at that time Duration, the lady and that boy who were dancing in the cathedral, she said that I hope that the dress is being made the next day, because she was supposed to wear in the ball, and she didn't wanted to look a bit different. She wanted to look her best. And after passing, he saw everything. He saw how the Jews people were bargaining with each other. He saw how lanterns were hanging on the mast of the ships, everything. And at the last he came to the poor house, and he looked. At that time the boy was tossing, means he was unable to sleep properly in his bed. And the mother had fallen asleep because she was very tired. and the bird laid the great ruby on the table beside the woman's thimble. And then he gently flew over the bed, and he just fanning the boy's forehead with his wings, and he said that how cool I feel. And the boy said that he is getting better, he will be getting better very soon. Then the swallow flew back to the happy prince and told him what he had done. It is curious, he remarked, but I feel quite warm now, although it is so cold. That is because you have done a good action, said the prince. And the little swallow began to think, and then he fell asleep. Thinking always made him sleepy. When day broke, he flew down to the river and had a bath. What a remarkable phenomena, said the professor of ornithology as he was passing over the bridge. A swallow in a winter, and he wrote a long letter about it to the local newspaper. Everyone quoted it. It was full of so many words that they could not understand. So now what happened? Swallow returned back to the happy prince, and he told that whatever was told by the prince he had done. And he told that they were very curious. And now the bird was feeling really very warm, although it was cold then also. At that time the happy prince is remarking him that as you have done a good action, because of that thing you are feeling so warm. And then he fell asleep, and that thinking made him really very happy. The day broke, he flew down to the river and he had a bath. And he found a professor of ornithology. He was telling as he was passing over the bridge, he told that a swallow in a winter, and he wrote a long letter to the local newspaper, and everyone quoted it also. And there were so many words, but the bird was unable to understand it. Tonight I go to Egypt, said the swallow, as he was in high spirits at the prospect. He visited all the public monuments and sat on a long time on the top of the church steeple. Wherever he went, the sparrows chirped and said to each other, "What a distinguished stranger." So he enjoyed himself very much. So now eventually what happened? Swallow told that tonight he would go to Egypt. And with high spirit he visited all the public monuments, and he would sit for a long time on the top of the church. And at that time he heard that many of the sparrows were telling that he is such a strange bird. He is not a sparrow, he was a swallow. And they were chirping and talking to each other that he was different from us. And this made swallow enjoyed him really very much. He liked it a lot, as he was, we can say, getting special attention from everyone, from the people as well as from the birds as well as from the prince. He was very happy. So dear students, we are keeping this till here today. I hope you have understood this part of the chapter till now. We will continue the next part in second part of the video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day everyone.